This changes everything for the Boston Red Sox, as it looks like they're getting hot at the right time. I'm here to break down a major win against an AL rival in the Houston Astros and how Dustin May's best performance yet in a Red Sox jersey surged them to it. We'll break down that as well as the offensive explosion in the current playoff standings as it sits today. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest, but first, please do remember, if you're a part of the percentage currently watching this video, not currently subscribed to the channel, scroll down, click the subscribe button, stay up to date with everything Boston Red Sox. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys for everything. But now let's get to it and break down a major performance and a great outing for this Boston Red Sox organization, and it's all going to start with the performance from Dustin May. Now, Dustin May is the newest acquisition for this Red Sox organization, and there was a lot of question marks, there was a lot of speculation about what version of Dustin May we were actually going to see in a Red Sox jersey. Now, we know how the first one went, and it was not great, obviously. If you look at this graphic on the right-hand side of your screen, it shows you the last 3 outings for Dustin May. Last night, he was phenomenal. No way around it. We're going to break it down in depth in just a second. But if you look at his first outing against Kansas City, he only went 3 2/3 innings. He got hit around and overall did not look great. Obviously, the outing before that was against this Red Sox organization, which is very odd, but it did work out because the Red Sox saw what abilities and potential Dustin May still maintained based off the pitch mix, the velocity, and all the other abilities that he maintains, and they went out and got him as a rental just to hold us off as another legitimate arm to come into the starting rotation for this Red Sox team and add a little bit more depth. As we all know, every team that wants to go deep into the playoffs needs as much pitching depth as humanly possible, whether it's starting, whether it's relief arms, closers, it doesn't matter. More arms results in more success more times than not. And last night, we saw a version of Dustin May that has Red Sox Nation fired up, because if you get anything remotely close to this version of Dustin May going forward, he is going to be a problem, and this starting rotation for the Red Sox is going to be feared going forward. His overall line, 6 innings, no earned runs, 8 Ks. He gave up 5 hits in those 6 innings, only walked 1 guy on 92 pitches thrown, 71% of them being strikes, and we have a more in-depth breakdown from Tyler Milliken on Twitter. Dustin May delivered the type of start the Red Sox were starving for. Four-seam fastball was up 1.1 miles per hour. Again, goes ahead to give you the breakdown. On 92 pitches, 65 of them were strikes. He created 12 whiffs. In the overall pitch breakdown, he threw the sweeper 37% of the time. The sinker followed by that at 23%, followed by the fastball at 21%, and the cutter at 20%. It was a very balanced arsenal compared to when he's done, or what he's done all season long. Now, credit to Tyler Milliken for giving us a more in-depth breakdown of really what that pitching arsenal looked like in last night's performance for Dustin May. Overall, the stuff was gross, and he was able to blow it by hitters with the fastball. The cutter, he wasn't throwing as much as we saw against Kansas City, and I think that is a good thing. Yes, he is still using it, but against Kansas City in that first game, or that first start for the Red Sox, Dustin May was a bit flat, again, strictly with the cutter. The other things were working. Obviously, the sweeper, the slider, however you'd like to name it or address it, was not getting all the way across the plate, and we saw him give up a lot of barrels because of that. But outside of that, things were decent. They weren't great, but last night, everything was clicking. And if you look at the swing and miss stuff, creating 12 whiffs, it was really, really good stuff from Dustin May. And again, if this is something we're going to get consistently from Dustin May, he's legitimately going to be the third, maybe even the fourth guy in this starting rotation for this Boston Red Sox organization. And a lot of the teams in the AL should absolutely be worrisome about this. Dustin May was supposed to be a 5th or 6th guy in the starting rotation that was going to be a complimentary guy. Give us 4, 5, maybe 6 innings if we were lucky, based off the performances we had seen up to this point in the year before he was traded to Boston with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, if this is the case, things are going to be just fine in that starting rotation for Boston, especially when Dustin May can come in there in a game following Garrett Crochet's outing where he didn't even go, 5 innings because he started to get hit around in that 3rd and 4th inning after dominating after the first 2. You needed depth from a starter. You needed someone to go out there and collect innings so you didn't have to heavily rely on a bullpen for the 2nd straight game. And that's exactly what Dustin May did. He went out there, he answered the call, and he was simply phenomenal. Overall, exactly what we wanted to see from Dustin May. It's literally exactly what we needed to see. Now, for the offensive production, the Red Sox scored 14 runs in this game and were simply dominant. Ended up winning the game 14-1. The Houston Astros ended up scoring 1 run in the bottom of the 9th inning because of an error at second base from, say, Don Rafaela. He tried to turn 2 to get out of the inning. He ended up throwing it just left of the first baseman, Abraham Toro. It did not go out of bounds, but it ended up bouncing off the wall or the fence guarding the dugout, and it resulted in someone moving up from first to third rather than, moving from second to third because of the loose ball. It obviously not the greatest result, but only giving up 1 run while you have 14 on the board is not the end of the world. Overall, the offensive production was phenomenal, and Roman Anthony, the 21-year-old rookie, was at the heart of it. No, he wasn't. You could argue he wasn't the greatest performance in the sense of obviously production, as he only had 1 hit in this game. It was a long ball going lefty-lefty for the second straight game against the Houston Astros, hitting a home run lefty-lefty to right center field. Roman is the guy. There's no way around it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is going to be a guy in Boston for at least the next 8 to 9 years, and if he continues this pace of play and he remains healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if Craig Breslow and this Red Sox organization took care of him again in just a handful of years, so he is a lifetime Red Sox. But again, we are far, far away from that because Roman is still only 21 years of age and still in his rookie year. And despite that, and despite the lack of experience on the major league level, and despite just him being so young, he is just playing a different level of baseball. There's no way around it. He went 1 of 2 last night. He had 5 at-bats. He walked 4 times. He had 6 at-bats. He walked 4 times. He hit 1 home run, and then he struck out 1 time on an offering where he checked his swing, and it really, truly did look like he earned his 5th walk of the night. It was earlier in the game, but on those 4 walks, he ended up scoring 4 runs. He had 4 total bases with that 1 home run. Overall, Roman is he's playing out of his mind, and MLB Network went on to break this down 2 or 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago. He's one of 2 players to rank in the top 95 percentile in both hard hit rate and chase percentage. The only other person is Juan Soto. Now, you've heard me say it as well as Jace and Sean on this channel break down how Roman has an eye like very few people on the major league level or anyone in the game of baseball for that matter. And he's 21 years of age. Again, 98th percentile in hard hit rate, 95th percentile in chase rate. The only person to be in the same category, in the same pool of players with him is Juan Soto, who we all know has one of the best eyes in all of baseball. One of the best eyes in the last 30 years, 40 years in the game of baseball. That may seem crazy, but if you watch Juan Soto, I know this year may not really translate, but if you look at the years past, especially last year with the New York Yankees, or in years prior when he was with the Padres, or even the Washington Nationals, Juan Soto has had an eye that doesn't even make sense. It feels like he has like an idea of where the pitch is going before they even throw it, and that may seem ridiculous because it's baseball, and I understand. I'm exaggerating just a bit, but that is what we're looking at. Like they understand it. They know what they're being thrown. They understand that if they just sit on the breaking stuff, regardless of whether or not it's coming from a right-handed pitcher or a left-handed pitcher, just wait on it a little bit longer. If it's not a shoebox of a strike zone, don't swing. And these guys, we can tell, are legitimately getting scared to pitch to such a young player in Roman Anthony, and when they do end up challenging him, he makes them pay. He wasn't the only one. Carlos Narvaez did hit a 3-run shot and got the offensive really going for the Red Sox after they went on to leave, bases loaded in the 2nd or 3rd inning. They ended up leaving 10 guys on base. A lot of them came later in the game against the position player on the mound, as I believe they left 2 or 3 left in the late stages, either in the 8th and the 9th inning. But again, the idea is the same. Roman Anthony is at the heart of this Red Sox offense. Alex Bregman hitting right behind him in the 2-hole, hit a opposite field home run off the foul pole things were just clicking on all cylinders after the halfway point of this game for the Red Sox offense. And with the connection and the collection of pitching with Dustin May, as well as the bullpen coming out there and being one of the best in all of baseball. I know it feels crazy to say that because of the lack of big names the Red Sox went out and got. They are still going out there and getting the job done. Now, overall, I can't wait to see how this all plays out. Currently, the Red Sox are sitting 5th in the AL playoff race, just a game and a half back of both the Mariners and the Houston Astros. The Red Sox do play in Houston for the third game of the season, or the series tonight. The third game of the series tonight against the Houston Astros in Houston. If they win again tonight, they will move to 67 and 55, moving in within a game of the Houston Astros. The Seattle Mariners keep winning, so it's going to be interesting to see how they continue to play. But after this game, the Red Sox do come home to Fenway Park, where they will host the mercenary Miami Marlins, which will be an interesting series. They should have the advantage in all facets of that game, but we know how the Marlins play. They've been doing it all year long, beating teams they have no business beating because they simply don't roll over. They never give up. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, the Red Sox are walking into a very favorable spot of their games remaining because we obviously know how the second half of the break started. The second half of this season started following the All-Star break. You had the Cubs. You had the Padres. You had the Astros now twice. These are legitimate teams, like legitimate playoff teams you are going to have to be able to compete against, especially when it comes down to October baseball. And to watch them win a lot of these games and stay and remain consistent and remain positive over their last 10 games is a major bonus. If they can win once again tonight, it will do huge things for these standings and the Red Sox morale going forward. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. But again, let me know down below what your overall thoughts and opinions are on this performance from Dustin May, as well as the Red Sox offense as a whole. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.